then Signorinera down below the 200 metres. Doris on the outside, takes control, takes the Oaks, racing away. Plunge coming on, Doris too good, and away easily.
Welcome to Brisvegas, our Queensland Winter Carnival show. I'm your host, Scoot. This show is brought to you by puntingform.com.au and topsport.com.au, Australia's biggest betting bookmaker. It's Stradbroke. It's double Group 1, or it's Group 1 racing up at Eagle Farm this weekend. And we've got Tommy Turbo Henjak and we've got Johnny Mcleod joining us from MacBet to preview the quaddie leagues today. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, thanks, Scoot.
Not as cold down there.
Yeah, I'm down at Singleton Army Barracks today. Lost 4 units from MacBet at Ipswich last Sunday, and John sent me down here for compulsory military service.
Plus haircut.
Yeah, nice little buzz cut going.
Sensational stuff. And Johnny Mcleod, he's been fishing all week. He's snacking on a mud crab claw. Tell you what, the booze would just be sweating out of you, is it, Johnny?
Oh, well, it's too cold, but it's. I did put a kilo on after yesterday. It was no good. It was. I was the lightest one of the 4. That's the only thing. So it was a plus.
What about last Saturday in the Oaks? Deus, wow, what a performance. Ed Cummings, it was a scintillating win. It didn't beat much, but it definitely looks like a filly on the rise.
Yeah, for sure. And the market absolutely nailed it as well. It was just, I think it started 270 or something like that. They just absolutely nailed it, and it just absolutely brained them.
It was really, really impressive. And what about this weekend? How do you expect, maybe one for you, Johnny Mcleod, the Eagle Farm track to play? It's been tricky for us, us Southerners to try and get our head around what the track's going to do. What do you think it's going to do this weekend?
Oh, they'll get away from the inside a little bit, though. You know, that 1 to 3 zone seems to be the no play. You know, you just don't go in there, but you just, you know, this track is not as big a, what can I say, map-orientated type of track. You know, you just got to, best horse wins, I think. You know, it doesn't really, pace is not that big an issue. You know, it's a little bit of a help, but the way that the track is playing, I think it's playing absolutely fantastic. And I wish I could bet on this track every week.
Well, it's definitely very tricky for me, but why don't we just get straight into it? We'll plough into race 6 and have a look at the Hinkler Stakes. We've got odds courtesy of topsport.com.au up on the screen now. This is race 6. Garibaldi, a horse that we talk about every week, it seems like, or every couple of weeks, 360 into 270. There's a little scratching. There's, I think, a 10 or 11 cent deduction there, but GTT, $5, Southern Lads, $7, Away Game and King of Hastings on the $7.50 line there, Superior, $12, and Blaze Jowski, I think it's an emergency in the Stradbroke at $13. I don't think it's going to get a start at this stage, but we're going to have a look at Garibaldi last start behind Emerald Kingdom. Take us away, Johnny.
This is the day we had a good bet on it. We thought it was a certainty and very possible. This is the horse in the middle there and the white sleeves. He did get a little bit of a check coming to the corner, but just here, he had his chance to bowl him over. Now, you know, even we had a little bit of a question mark at the 13.50, but do I think it was enough to say that it deserves to be 280 here, solid in the market? You know, I've got to take a punt against it. So just showing you that run to sort of say it didn't hit the line. You know, it really at the 200, it had enough. You know, and other horses were going straight past it. So it didn't even run out 11.50. So, you know, unless it just completely turns things around to its previous run, you know, its previous run, it just beats these. But if it goes on that run, you know, you can't have it 280. So I think the market has to come for GTT. It's around the $5 mark. And I think, you know, it's a nice bet each way. Trial just recently without the blinkers on and hit the line nicely behind an okay horse of, I think it was King of Hastings. I think it went a lot better than it. And King of Hastings $7.50 in this race. So, and GTT's $5. So I think he's got to take care of it. It's going to be midfield, 2 wide, coming to the outside, and I think it'll be extremely hard to beat. I think you know, this horse is last preparation. He came into the yard looking full of himself and quite big, but he performed good. and then he started to lighten off and he went off late. Now, this time he's been very, very easy on him, probably not doing as much work. And I think they've found the key to the horse and they haven't found the ceiling to it. So, I think tomorrow's the day for GTT to stand up into a decent race.
What were your thoughts of Southern Lad and Blaze Jowski?
Southern Lad's definitely there. It's probably my third pick, but I think the 7 gate's a bit tricky because there's a few horses. I think Away Game will cross into second spot on the outside of In Good Time. King of Hastings will hold 4th 2 wide. GTT will be in that 5th, 6th position, and then you've got Southern Lad having to make a decision from that 7 gate. So he's just in an awkward position where he'll get to. It's not to say they can't win sitting 3 wide, because there's been a lot of horses being 3 and 4 wide and going quite good on this track. So I think it's just because the inside part isn't that strong, and the track is playing that way. So I definitely prefer not to be 3 wide, but it's not as big a disadvantage as what it is on other tracks.
And Blazkowski?
Got caught up in the wrong part of the track the other day, and he's going to improve, but he's going to have to give him start and give Garibaldi, GTT, probably a couple of lengths start, and I'm just not sure whether he can do that. We've got him around about the $16 mark, so not too far away from the market, but I sort of, just each way Garibaldi, and it's you just try, not each way Garibaldi, each way GTT. I'm just taking a stand against Garibaldi. Just believe my eyes the other day.
So, yeah, $5 at topsport.com.au. We might take a little bit of a break, but big thanks to one of our presenting sponsors, puntingform.com.au. They've introduced a couple of new features to their database, the jockey and trainer stats, and you can also get barrier and lane information. So you can access the database. I think it's around $2.97 a month, and if you want to take the next step to become a pro punter, this is what you need. You need puntingform.com.au. We'll take a little bit of a break, and we'll come back and we'll preview the JJ Atkins. Welcome back to Brisvegas, our Queensland Winter Carnival racing show. I'm your host, Scoot. I've got Turbo and Johnny Mcleod from MacBet joining me, and it's time to look at the JJ Atkins. We've got odds courtesy of topsport.com.au on the screen, and looks like a 2-horse war, this one. We saw him in the lead-up of the size. Produce will play it shortly, but Converge is the one the market wants to be with, $3.50 into $3.20. Port Louis has been $4.40 out to $5, and Tiger of Malay is $6.50. They're the horses in the market. We'll have a look at the size Produce replay, and Tommy Turbo, take us through this one.
Yeah, so Converge is the one, the red and the black, kind of being held up there behind, I think it was Ranch Hand or something like that. Yeah. Now, the assessment of this race really comes down to how heavily do you weight this last start run. Because if you fully factor in just this one, I guess, Converge should be a lot shorter than 330, 340, whatever it is at the time being, because his run was just absolutely outstanding. Looks suited up to 1,600 metres. And I guess what else comes into play here are the barriers. Now, as John said earlier, the best horse will probably just win. I'm not sure whether barriers are actually going to be a massive influence on your kind of assessments, because at this time of the day, I think it's race 7. I'm predicting that they're going to be getting pretty wide on the track. So whether Port Louis from, I think, what's he drawn, 13, whether that's going to be a massive disadvantage. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see him only 3 pairs back behind a horse like Converge, because we've seen Bowman put in some absolute rippers this carnival already. How he was able to slip in on Senor Toba. But, I mean, if you go back to the Group 1 Champagne Stakes in Sydney, there wasn't a whole lot between them. I'd probably give a tick there to Port Louis. They both had 5 weeks going into that run at Eagle Farm last start in the Produce stakes. So I'm torn. I'm probably going to end up having something on Port Louis. I won't be surprised if the market fully hones in on Converge based on that last start run. But in all honesty, I don't think there's too much between them.
It's a really interesting one. And I know Johnny Mcleod on our show last week was pretty keen on Converge. Are you still sticking with the Waterhouse runner, Johnny?
Just have to. I think, I was surprised at how well it went just because of the way it's only a little horse in the yard. It's just tiny. It's tiny. It's thick, but it's not big. But just the way he knuckled down, and they just may have found the key to it. Ridden a little bit quieter than what they normally do, and so I think he'll probably be running 6th around that mark, and as Tom got it, I think around about 6. But I think he'll be closer just because the other day he jumped well, and they just had to keep on going back from the gate, and he got pushed back, and he's just going to land 6th without doing much at all. And just the way, what's it called? Port Louis pinched the brake, 5-6 lengths on it, and he was weakening, and Converge was going 3 to their 1. You're not even 1 to, not even 2 to their 1, it was 3 to their 1. So I think the market will really come strong for this horse, and it'll be winning, I think.
I snipped a bit at 8.50 after, just before Port Louis' last start. I thought it would be the horse to beat here, and maybe it peaked on its run, so maybe a fitness turnaround. Yeah. And if it settles a little bit closer, I think this will be a really, really tactical affair. And I know what you mean. It's very hard to split. But is there a roughie somewhere, Tommy Turbo? Who's the best knockout chance? Because a lot of people will focus on these two runners, but is there a forgotten horse?
Look, I think Ranch Hand can possibly improve. They've taken the blinkers off. I think there'll be a much stronger tempo here than what we saw. Maybe help him relax a little bit. But apart from, you couldn't really back Tiger and Malay to win again. I think he just had an absolute birthday there last start. Perhaps a horse like Three Wise Men. I've gone through a bit of its Sydney form. It looks okay. I like the way it finished off in the inferior part of the track last start. And I think it'll be coming down the right part of the track there on Saturday.
It's a fascinating race, and it's a race I always love to sink my teeth in. Funny things happen over 1,600 metres, and I just can't get that Port Louis run in the Champagne Stakes out of my head. Go back and do its replay from its Group 1 Sydney contest there. That horse got absolutely flattened, and as soon as I saw that happen, I thought, well, this little horse will only be targeted to the JJ Atkins, so hopefully Hugh Bowie for me, and it sounds like Turbo, can overturn Johnny Mcleod's. But if you like either horse, it's very, very hard to talk you guys out of either. Let's have a look at the big one, the Stradbroke at wide open field here. We'll get Johnny to preview this one, but odds courtesy of topsport.com.au on the screen now. We've got Vega 1, truckload of money for this, $7 into $5. The Harrovian, $9.50 to $7.50. There's a lot of media around this horse. Wild Planet, $8.50. Tofane, $9.50. Mr. Quickie, $9.50. And it's double digits, pardon me, or every other runner. Let's have a look at the Kingsford Smith here, which was won by Vega 1 and Jay Carr. Wow, she threaded the needle here and out the back in the yellow colours. Talk us through it, Johnny.
It's the yellow colours back in the field. Like everyone was saying, it was such a big ride. She fluked it, absolutely fluked it. She nearly carved it up. It sort of, she was going for runs and got checked out of it, and she could have come to the outside, but she just got, it opened up a little bit the last little bit. If it would have got beaten about 3/4 of a length, they would have lynched her if you're on it. And but you can see it attack the line and everything like that. The finish, he just went great. Just going back on that previous one with Turbo, I'm going head to head with him. Everyone's been saying that I'm Robin and Turbo's bloody Batman. I think I really got to turn this around to recover my Batman outfit.
What are your thoughts here, Turbo, on this one? I know Johnny's sort of in the camp of Vega 1, but what are you thinking?
Look, it's gonna, as we know in the Stradbroke, it's always a high pressure Group 1. You're gonna need a strong horse, definitely over 1,400, possibly even 1,500. Like a horse like Apache Chase, Savage Excel, they're gonna be ripping along in front. I think Vega 1 definitely has to be on top. I think possibly you'll get a better price on the day. I think the market might come for a horse like Apache Chase down on the weights. But I think, Vega 1 definitely has to be there. I think Nicanova can be a big improver with a faster tempo and definitely getting out to those outside lanes later in the day. I think perhaps maybe like looking at Johnny's mate there, Subpoena will be coming the right part of the track. I really wanted to be with the toppy Mr. Quickie, but from gate 1, it's going to be very tricky with the top weight to kind of get out to those lanes where you want to be, I'm thinking.
Yeah, agreed. Sort of interesting with Vega 1 that when I was going through it, two preparations ago, well, last preparation, he came up to Caloundra and he was fat as mud. And he sort of went really good that day. And then he sort of just held his form okay. This time in his first run, he was fit. He was, fit, nowhere near as big as what he was at the Sunshine Coast. And he's taken a few runs to actually find his form. It's been a complete turnaround the way they looked first up last preparation to the first up this time. And like I've been against this horse, in the first 2 or 3 runs. And I just think he's just taken this beautifully going towards this race. I think he's primed it. It's got the right gait. It's going to finish up midfield back. It's gone up only 1 kilo for being beaten a half a length last year as a 4-year-old. Now he's a stronger horse as 5. Geez, I think everything just pushes you in. It's sort of just, it's sort of, it's a pain because I really potted it after its run behind Eduardo. I really thought all those horses in that race couldn't win, after that. But I've just been terrorising me why this horse has just made improvement. And I just think it's just the way that he's trained it, ready for this Stradbroke. And
I think they also rode it too close that day, Johnny. They were only 2 or 3. They were 2 pairs back on a hot speed. He was just ridden outside his comfort zone.
Yeah, well, that's probably true too, because he has been riding it. That was Cole the other day, the way that she did it last time, sort of thing as well. So, and this girl, I don't know a hell of a lot about her, Rachel King, but I do think, apart from the day that she slaughtered Eduardo when she went 100 mile an hour, I think she's been riding fairly good, and she's not as an aggressive jockey. And this horse just needs, one of those Sulas.
Two horses that I found at good odds out of the same race as Vega 1 was Victorum. I thought it might improve after a first up, pretty strong performance first up. He's giving away a lot of fitness to a horse like Vega 1. He's really big odds there at 15-1 in my opinion, Johnny. And the other one that I thought was a really big run was Signor Fox along the fence on the wrong part of the track. Do you give either horse a knockout chance here, Victorum or Signor Fox?
Both of them, Victorum 1400s as far as it really wants to get. And I think so that could be a little bit of a bugbear in it. It'll run on and then all of a sudden it might peak. And the same with the other one, what did you say?
Signor Fox.
Signor Fox. It's got a really good turn of foot. It did come in the worst part of the track the other day when it pinged. But once it got there, the others sort of they ran away from it. So it really needs a real, like a good 1200 metre race with speed on, and it'll just go bang because it's got a really good turn of foot. 1400 with speed on, it's going to be with Apache Chase running. I think it will run on and then all of a sudden it might sort of just peak that last bit. So I think Imaging's got a little hope. I think it's the one, a forgotten horse. Just have a little bit of luck from the gate. I think it's not completely hopeless. But, I was pretty keen on Vega 1. I wanted to throw something on Mr. Quickie just because I think it's a class runner. I do concede the one gate's got me very worried, like Turbo's saying. And I'll be throwing something on Imaging just to safe bet.
I think Turbo's on the money with these leaders. I don't like Sava TXL and I don't like Apache Chase, but a runner that I could make a case for if it gets a start was Amish Boy. I thought it was a really big run behind Apache Chase and Ayrton last start.
I think that's the reason why I'm against Apache Chase totally. I just think, Amish Boy's given it probably 12-length start and come up on the inside in the worst part of the track and run it to, a length, 3/4 of a length, It sort of just doesn't look good to me. I know they're dropping the weight and everything, and I love these 3-year-olds in these races, but Amish Boy is better than Apache Chase if it gets into the race. That's for sure. And there's a difference in price as well. So I've got Amish Boy 4th pick if it gets in there.
Another horse that's coming through the Eduardo form line and Vega 1 and looks fresh and a little bit fresher than a few of these as Wild Planet with Tommy Berry. Looks like it's got an ideal draw, and the 1400's definitely going to suit this runner. Thoughts, Johnny?
Definitely a chance. I've got it around $13. So definitely a hope. I don't really like that stable too much. He's had a lot of winners, but I'd rather steer clear. So that would be the only reason. Seems like they're a lot shorter than they deserve to be all the time, just because they're coming from that stable.
All right, nice little bit of a backhander there, but it's going to be a fascinating race. It's going to be a very deep race. So you either play around Vega 1 or you start to hunt really, really wide and back a couple of roughies there. So hopefully we've made the picture a little bit clearer, or we've completely graded you up. But it's going to be a fascinating contest at Eagle Farm, and make sure you it's such an even race that you just need to see how that track's playing. So make sure you check out MacBet Tips on Twitter, and these guys will give you 3 to 5 minute updates before they jump. And the previews are absolutely sensational stuff. And he's cool, calm, and collected, Johnny. He doesn't get flustered, so he's definitely a man to follow. If you're betting this weekend, make sure you check out topsport.com.au. They're Australia's biggest betting bookie. They've been in the game for 35 years, the Merlins up at the Gold Coast. So make sure you get around those guys. We'll take a quick break and we'll preview the lucky last on the card and have a look at some of the early big bets that TopSport have laid. Welcome back to Brisvegas, our Queensland Winter Carnival show. It's all happening here. We just had an intruder on set, but we've shaken them off. Who would believe it? Everything happens in the Little Birdie headquarter office. Who knows will walk through that door next? Maybe it'll be Ricky Nixon. Let's talk about the last race, the Dane Ripper, which is a real big lead-up run for the Tats Tiara for the Group 1 Mares event. But the Dane Ripper Stakes on Saturday is the penultimate race on the card. It's a sweet deal, $5 into $4.60. Oh my God, I can hear Johnny Mcleod convulsing after its last start sick beat there. What an absolute morale beating for you viewers at home. Caventia Bay, $8.50 to $7.50 is second favourite there. Has trialled enormous, I'm told. Brooklyn Hustle, $8. Odium, $8.50. Fun Star, $9. And Madame Rouge, $10. Oh, I am getting tremors and the sweats about Sweet Deal. But let's have a look at the last start replay of the Helen Coghlan Stakes, Madame Rouge, and talk us through it, Tommy Turbo.
Yep, so Madame Rouge is the one that's 3 back the fence. She was 70 days off going into this run. This was a slow run, 1,200-metre race at Eagle Farm. She returns to the scene of the crime here. This is a 1,300-metre fillies and mares. I think they're going to go at a pretty genuine clip here, much faster than what they did last time. You've got Dame Giselle with the blinkers on, Sweet Deal from the inside draw. You've also got Odium, who's first up. They'll come across from the wide gate with J-Mac. And I think there's going to be a bit of tempo on here, so I think that's going to set up nicely for Madame Rouge. Second up, she's drawn wide with Huey as the map comes up now. I think she's going to be getting to those outside lanes, as I spoke about earlier. And I think she's going to take a stack of improvement, and I wouldn't be surprised if she starts a lot shorter in the market. She was in the inferior part of the track there on the replay we just saw. I think if you kind of swap the runs that her and Exhilarates had, I think Madame Rouge would have gone pretty close to winning that, if not just winning. So pretty keen on her. I think there's a few knocks on some of the resuming or some of the fresh blood on the scene here, like Odium, as we spoke about earlier. I'm not really sure about the 3-year-old form this season. Think of it's a bit of a pox. And who else is there? Like Dame Giselle, I think her run was very flattered in the Kingsford Smith. I know it was a Group 1, but they didn't go too hard in front there either, and she barely got to the line. So, yeah, pretty keen on Madame Rouge.
I'm not sure if Tommy's just trying to trigger Johnny Mcleod from mapping Sweet Deal so close, but I'd say if it positions there, it'll be hard to beat. But Johnny, you know about this Kiwi mare, Caventia Bay. Tell us about the trial.
Yeah, it went good. Gave a horse, I think it's in race 2, the thing of Freedman's. It's over at 1,600. It gave it around about 6-7 lengths start into the straight, and a horse called Delphi. I think it's a Great Britain horse. It is a stayer. Gave it 6 lengths start, went past it like it was nailed to the post. Hit the line really strong, but just the problem is where he's going to get to. I see Tom's got it back a long way, and if it gets back there, it's a bit of trouble, but it did trial good. And I was going to ask Tom, there's a horse called Sierra Sue, mate, that it just caught up in behind him there. It went good the other day, and it didn't go that much worse than Sweet Deal, and it's probably
it has to be right in the race. I think it was first up there off 13 weeks as well. Her runs prior were pretty poor. I think the last 3 she had before the spell were very ordinary, but she returned super there. That was a sit and sprint affair, so maybe that flattened her performance. But if she truly is back in what was a eye-catching run, then she has to be in calculations. I don't think the barrier's too much of an issue. This is the last race of the day. I think they'll be coming pretty wide.
Yeah, 5 starts ago at Flemington, she was held up, and I think Michael Walker was steering that day. She won at about $13 or $15, and if she can recapture that form, she's definitely in the race. It looks a really good. I sort of like your angle here, Tommy, with Madame Rouge. It looks a really fair price. Inferior going last start, and I think it's drawn a little bit better, or drawn where you need to be. This Madame Rouge, she hasn't had a heap of luck with her barrier draws, and I know how good Waller is at peaking their horses, so definitely think the $10 there is a good way to bet. Let's have a look at the TopSport Big Bets, and let's see if we can find some tickets that we'd like to be holding here. We've got the bets up on the screen now, and we've got Eagle Farm Race 3, number 1, Ellsberg, 1,500 at $4.20 to overturn the Hot Pot Ayrton. Happy with that?
Yeah, is that Walter's bet?
Probably.
That's a very interesting race. We were speaking about it off there before. If you go off last start around Ellsberg, could be very short versus Ayrton. Ayrton's obviously the hype horse, and how much improvement will it take off a run like that? That's the big question. Last start.
And race 5, number 8's the next bet here. La Donda V, 1,000 at $26, now into 21. It's up against the hot pot Zaki at $1.45. Johnny Mcleod, we backed this horse, La Donda V, in the Bulldozer in the Warrnambool Cup, and it got probably every favour in run there, but I don't think you can beat a horse like Zaki, can it?
No, you wouldn't be thinking so. The return of foot that Zaki's shown, it's just been big. Races up on the speed, just one of those great horses that you love to own. Be there, turn a foot, just goes bang. So it's going to be very hard to beat. But that's a race Tom's done as well. What do you think of it, Tom?
I think they're 50-50 on whether they're actually going to run. But yeah, can Zaki reproduce what we saw last start in the Doomben Cup? That's the big question mark. You did say it was going backwards in the yard, Johnny, last start. So
the only thing is, Tom, I think it was more. We spoke about it after the race. It was probably more that Heathcote was coming through, and it just dulled your thoughts when you're looking at it, because everyone was saying it looked so good at the coast. But I think it was more, after it won so well, that it was the Heathcote coming through, and it just put everyone off a little bit. So it'll just be interesting if the similar sort of situation tomorrow, or it's lightened off or done something different to what we seen the other day. But I'm sort of putting it down to myself making a bad decision on not thinking that it was the Heathcote that was the problem. And it's not a problem. It's just that's what they get, and their cull is not as bright as what they normally would be. So I think that could have been the problem.
Very, very brave to back against a horse like Zaki. But let's have a look at the next one. Race 7, number 5, Port Louis. That's we've already covered that race. Not a bad ticket to hold. $2,000 at $5 there. Race 8, number 8 is the next one in the Stradbroke. Nicanova, 1,000 at 21. I think it needs a little bit of sting out of the track. We've previewed a fair few roughies there. It's not the worst. The trainer is absolutely on fire, Stephen Tregay. And then in race 9, Coventina Bay, I think they've said it right finally, 1,000 at $8.50, Coventina Bay, and so that's the Kiwi horse. So yeah, someone else has seen it from the trials and thinks it is a chance in the last race, which the boys are betting around. Sweet Deal for now. So make sure you jot them down. We can always find a winner out of those little bets that TopSport have laid early. The smart money's playing around there, but I think that's a bit of a wrap for us. So if you want more of Johnny Mcleod or Tommy Turbo's thoughts, make sure you head to macbet.com.au and, as they say, stay ahead of the pack. But thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll catch you next week. Good luck in the big ones this weekend.
Beauty.
Sweet. Thank you. See you later.
That's a wrap from us. Make sure you follow us on Little Birdie TV on YouTube. You get to watch the race replays there, and we're also in the Apple Store, Spotify, and SoundCloud if you're going to listen to us on the run. Big thanks to the guys from MacBet, Punting Form, and TopSport, and we'll see you next week.